All right, we're going to be starting with an ab wheel today. Your hands are going to be on the front platform, knees on the first white line of the moving carriage. We're on one white spring. I want you to slightly bend your elbows, push your knees behind you to drop your hips, and send yourself halfway out and hold. We're going to be pushing back for this ab wheel in 3, 2, now push back as far as you can go, hinging from those shoulders. Bring it in slow and controlled till those hands are underneath your shoulders. Breathe in as you go out. Exhale as you slowly come forward. And if you want to give me a little challenge, you can give me a little push-up once your hands are under those shoulders. Now, to modify, you can add a second white spring for support, or if you want to make it harder, you can go to 0 white springs. You can also move your knees to the second white line, and that's going to make it a little bit harder. Now, I want those slight bend in your elbows so that you can work out those triceps. Keep your abs and core engaged to protect that lower back. You should only be feeling this in your core and your abs, not your lower back. In 9 seconds, we got a hold and a pulse. 5 seconds, we're going to go out halfway to hold in 3, 2, now go out halfway and hold. Slight bend in your elbows, flex those abs to engage your core. Now pulse, 1 inch out, 1 inch in. Tiny little pulses. Now remember, if it starts to burn or you're tired, try not to stop. I'd rather have you come a little more forward, closer to that front platform, and continue your pulses. We got 7 more seconds, and then we're going to go back to full range, pushing out first. In 3, 2, now push out as far as you can go, and slowly come in, hands underneath those shoulders. Breathe. We got a forearm plank coming up next. What you're going to do is go down to your forearms and pop up right on those toes, making that change. In 3, 2, now come down to those forearms, up on your toes, and hold. Now let's fix your form. Slightly lift up those hips. Flex your abs and push through your forearms so that your ears don't drop lower into your shoulders. Now in 10 seconds, we're going to do heel taps. You're going to be lifting up one heel for 2 to 3 seconds. Making that change. In 3, 2, now lift up one heel for 2 to 3 seconds and then alternate to the other. Don't drop your hips. Keep your abs and core engaged. Don't drop those ears down into your shoulders. Breathe through this. Now, if you want to make this harder, you can toe tap the outside of the machine. Tapping the outside, bringing it back to the center. Breathe through this. If you need to modify, go down to your knees, but I challenge you to get back up on those toes. In 6 seconds, we're going to hold. 3, 2, now hold. Slightly lift up those hips. Flex those abs, push through those forearms. We're going to go into a plank to pike. You're going to go up to your hands, toes to the first white line. In 3, 2, now up on those hands, move your toes to the first white line of the moving carriage. If you have wrist issues, rotate your wrists outward, holding the edge of your carriage. Now, slight bend in your elbows as you hike your hips up 80% only, slowly bringing it down into that push-up position. You want to look down into your toes as you hike up and look down at your platform as you slowly go down. Now, to make it harder, you can go down to your forearms. The lower that you go, the harder it is. The reason why I'm only having you go up 80% is if you go up all the way up, you're going to end up just stretching, reaching for your toes. Now, to avoid you from going too quickly, don't think about your toes. Focus on lifting your hips and lowering your hips. And if you need to modify, you can go up to those black handlebars and hike those hips up, but keep that slight bend in your elbows. Now, we got a hold coming up in 5 seconds. We're going to go up 80% and hold. In 3, 2, now pike those hips up 80% of the way and hold. We're going to be going down 1 inch at a time. Slight bend in those elbows, 1 inch down, hold. Go down another inch, hold. One more inch and hold. Now pike up 80%, one more time, one more round. Drop an inch, hold. Drop another inch, hold. Drop another inch, this is the last one. Now pike up as high as you can go and slowly back down to full range. We're gonna give these wrists a break. We're gonna be going down to your forearms for a saw. We're gonna be starting with a flying saw, and then we're gonna modify to a regular saw. Making that change down to your forearms in 3, 2, now down to your forearms, stay on those toes. Let's fix that form. Slightly lift up those hips, flex those abs. Now push the carriage out and slowly bring it back in. Move your toes closer to the back. If you're touching that platform, we're all different heights. Breathe in as you go out. Exhale as you slowly come forward. If you need to modify, go down to your knees and push the carriage back, extending your arms, and then slowly come forward, elbows under shoulders. Now remember, no matter if you're on your toes or your knees, you're holding a modified or a forearm plank. So you gotta keep those abs and your core nice and engaged. Breathe, slightly lifting up those hips. Now, remember, you should only feel this in your abs. So I want you to flex those abs, keep that hip slightly elevated. We got holds and pulses coming up next. In 6 seconds, you're gonna go out halfway and hold, making that change. In 3, 2, now push out halfway and hold. Flex those abs, slightly lift up those hips. Now pulse, 1 inch out, 1 inch in. Tiny little pulses, breathe through this, and remember, don't just stop. Go closer to the front and pulse if it's too much for you in the center. We're here for 6 more seconds, and we're gonna go back to full range, pushing outward first. In 3, 2, now push out as far as you can, and slowly come forward and back to full range. We're gonna end with a seated carriage crunch. We're gonna go on 1 heavy spring. You can add on a gray medium or a black heavy. And if they're the same colors on your machine, it doesn't matter. Making that change. In 3, 2, now bring that carriage in, add on a gray or a black. I'm putting on the gray. If you have weights, you can pick up weights. If not, it's okay. You can put your feet underneath the straps, sitting in the middle of your carriage. We're gonna go ahead and lean back as far as you can with arms extended forward. Hold, now flex your abs. Don't use your toes or your feet against the strap. Now exhale as you lift forward halfway. You wanna stop at that 45-degree angle, going down as low as you can go. Breathe in as you go down. Exhale as you lift up from your core, your arms, not your feet. Press those heels down so you're not using those feet. And we got 10 seconds before we get into holds and pulses. 5 seconds, we're gonna meet low and hold. In 3, 2, now meet me low and hold. Now flex those abs and pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down, little tiny pulses. We're gonna be starting your legs with a skater coming up next, making that change. In 3, 2, now stand up on your machine. We're gonna be fixing the B-fit wall, feet in between the straps. Once your feet are in between, I want you to push the carriage shoulder width apart, keeping tension in your outer thighs. Meet me low. Now push the carriage out, slow as you can. Exhale as you push. Breathe in as you release. And if this is too heavy for you or it's too difficult to go slow, I want you to modify and take off 1 white spring. This is about going slow. We want to tone those muscles, burn them, keeping them under tension. Exhale as you push for effort. Your hips are staying square, your left leg is doing nothing, only your right is kicking out. Now, if you have weights, you can have your arms down and you can basically bicep curl as you kick the carriage out and slowly bring the hands down. Exhale as you bicep curl and push. Breathe in as you release. We're going to be switching over to the left leg coming up next. What we're going to do is we're going to go out halfway with that right leg and hold with tension, and then come up with that left heel. Making that change in 3, 2, now push the right leg halfway out. Now push through the left heel to come up. If you have weights, have them out to your side, pushing through your arms. You want to sit down as low as you can, try to get that thigh in a 90-degree angle. Sitting back on this black handlebar behind you to also keep your knees from passing your toes. Exhale as you push. Breathe in as you release. You're holding the carriage with tension, hardly moving it if you can, pressing through your left heel. Lift up those toes and use that strap to help you. The more you use your heels, the more you're going to work out your hamstring and glutes. Sometimes when we squat or we lunge, we end up using the front of our toes to balance out, but I want you to try to use those heels if you can. In 10 seconds, we're going to go into a standing outer thigh, and we're going to transition without losing tension. We're going to meet knee low, airplane hands, and kick both legs out like a split. In 3, 2, now airplane hands, kick out with both your feet. Now slowly come up until you're slightly to the top. Exhale as you push out with both of your feet against the carriage straps. Now this is called a standing outer thigh. What you're working on is your outer thighs and your outer butt. I have a slight bend in my knees, just like I have a slight bend in my elbow to protect my joints and make sure that my joints aren't taking in the weight. You want to breathe in as you come left, and you want to exhale as you push. Now, we're getting ready for those sumo squat pulses. We're going to be moving to that position without losing tension. We're going to be kicking out as far as you can, and then bringing your knees shoulder width apart to start. Making that change in 3, 2, now out as far as you can. Bend both your knees equally to those shoulders. Now pulse. Now, we're holding the carriage out with a heavy spring and a white. So this is mocking a resistance band around your thigh. If you can get down a little bit lower, get down lower. Lift up those toes, push through those heels, and try not to move the carriage. How you do that is keep those hips square. Breathe and go slow as you can. We're going to be kicking this carriage out again with both of your legs and back to outer thighs, making that change. In 3, 2, now push out with both of your legs evenly and slowly come in and up, back to standing outer thighs. Exhale as you push, breathe in as you release. I like airplane hands because they help me go a little bit lower and further, but if you don't want to do that, you can put your arms behind your back, pulling those shoulder blades behind you, fixing that hunchback. Now, we're going to be getting on a one leg spring for a side lunge coming up next, making that change. In 3, 2, now kneel down, take off that heavy spring. We're on 1. Your left foot is on the platform, closest to the direction that you're facing. Right leg diagonally behind you on that carriage. Meet knee low. Now push through those heels to come up and sit down on the black handlebar behind you so your knees don't pass your toes. Now this is just like a lunge. So your leg on the carriage, foot down, heels up. I want you to sit back on that black handlebar so that you know you went down as low as you could go, and I want you to do it also so that your knees don't pass your toes. I have my toes lifted because I want to use most of my hamstring and glute, and we're just warming up here before we get into 2 variations, back to back. Breathe in as you go down, exhale as you push through those heels. Now, we got holds, pulses, and carriage kicks coming up next. You're going to meet knee low and hold before you pulse. We got 7 seconds. We're going to meet knee low in 3, 2, now meet knee low and hold. Now pulse, up and down, 1 inch at a time. Anytime you need support, airplane hands will keep you stable, or fingertips on the black handlebars. I do not like palms because that makes people hunch over. Make sure that your gaze is forward, chin away from your chest. We got 9 more seconds, and then we're going to do a carriage kick. We're going to be bending that right knee inward towards our body in 3, 2, now stay low as you can, and bend that right knee in, and slowly push the carriage away. I like my hands behind my back. That way I get more weight into that hamstring and glute. Use those fingers on those black handlebars to help you, or airplane hands to keep you stable. Slight touch with your toes on that carriage. We got 8 more seconds, and we're gonna push through those heels to come up. In 3, 2, now push through those heels to come up, and then back to full range. Now, we got a carriage lunge coming up next. We're going to be facing the street, stepping back on your platform first for support and to make sure that you're safe. Making that change. In 3, 2, now both feet on your platform, now we're facing the street. Your left forward foot is on the carriage, right foot is behind you, and you want to meet me low as you can and hold. Now, push through your heels as you slowly come up, and I want you to take this slow. A lot of people tend to just pull their weight up. I need you to go down, foot first, knee second, continuously pushing through your heel to slowly come up. I want you to feel this in your glutes, in your hamstrings. Now, remember that golden 90 degree. I want you to go down as low as you can, and every time you go down, try to go down a little bit further, even if it's 1 centimeter. All your weight is in the front left foot. Try to get that thigh flat like the floor, get that 90 degree knee. Now, this is called a carriage lunge. If you feel wobbly, you can put your arms out like a field goal in football to keep your body centered between your arms. If you have room, you can do airplanes, or you can do stabilization bars using your fingers on the top of that bar. We're going to meet low in 3, 2, now meet low. Arms at your side and pulse up and down for ski jumps. If you are burning, you can come up a little bit higher, and once you have enough energy, go back down. Those hands go in front of you. In 3, 2, now hands in front of you like a prayer. Now carriage kick. You're pushing your toes forward towards that straight. Breathe in as you go forward. Exhale as you bring that heel back. We're not here for much longer. We're going to be coming up slowly. In 3, 2, now push through those heels to come up. Shake it off if you need to, and then back to full range. Breathe in as you go down. Exhale as you continuously push down, down, down to come up and back. We're going to be finishing legs in 7 seconds with a squat. In 3, 2, now both feet back onto your platform. Let's face that V-fit wall. Left foot on the platform, right foot on the carriage, shoulder width apart. Sit back and hold. Pushing through those heels in 3, 2, now push through those heels to slowly come up. Sitting back on that black handlebar behind you. I want you to sit back so that you can get that 90 degree angle in your knees and to keep your knees from passing your toes. If you can lift up that toe on both of your feet, use those heels. Now, if this is too hard, like the carriage is running away from you, add on a second white spring. If you really need 3, use 3, but I only want 2 usually. Now, we're getting ready to do holds, pulses, and carriage kicks. In order to keep the carriage from moving, I want you to go slow. And if you think you're going slow, you can always go a little bit slower. Don't lock out those knees. Keep them slightly bent. We got 7 seconds, and then we're going to meet me low for a hold. In 3, 2, now sit down and hold. Now pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Push through those heels. Lift up those toes. If you need support, fingers on those black handlebars, airplane hands, or take a quick break. We're going to be kicking that carriage out for a carriage kick in 10 seconds. Take that break if you need to, because bam, I'm burning. Now, we're going to be kicking that carriage out in 3, 2, now push that right leg out as far as you can and slowly bring it back in. Airplane hands or fingers on those bars. Breathe through this. Don't go past where you can't bring it back in. All that weight is in that left leg as you push the carriage out. We got 5 more seconds, and then we're going to go back up in 3, 2, now push through those heels, and we are done. Now we're going to get into a twister. Your feet are on the first white line. Left foot in front of right, right hand on the black handlebar and left. Push it out, slight bend in your elbows, slightly lift up those hips. Now pull that carriage forward, bending that body in half. Breathe in as you go out. Exhale as you push, pulling in and folding your body in half. Breathe. Now this is called a twister. If you want to make it harder, you can always go down to your platform and it turns into a twisted plank to pike. But the easiest one is up on those black handlebars, pushing your palms through those black handlebars. And I like to push my left heel down into that carriage, pulling the carriage in as I use all my left oblique to fold in half. We got holds and pulses coming up next. Going out halfway in 3, 2, now hold, slight bend in your elbows, slightly lift up those hips. Now pulse, 1 inch in, 1 inch out. Push down through those palms, push down through that left heel, and fold your body in half using that left oblique, 1 pulse at a time. We're going to be going down to your platform, feet stay crossed for a twisted panther in 3, 2, now go down to that platform. I like holding the outside for my wrist, slight bend in your elbows, now bend your knees inward towards that front platform. Breathe in as you release. Exhale as you slowly bring it out. Now, if you need to modify, you can add on a second light spring, or modify going down to your knees, bending your knees inward towards that body. Breathe in as you release. Exhale as you bend. Breathe through this, everybody. Now, because your legs are crossed, more of your weight is going to be into your left arm, so I need you to lean more to the right to square that shoulder off. No holds, no pulses. We got 6 seconds before we go into a side plank. In 3, 2, now bring that carriage in. Left forearm down on the platform, palm down. Knees stacked on the edge of that carriage. Right hand up, and we're going to lift up those hips. Now, we're going to dip down low and thrust that hip up. Breathe in as you go down. Exhale as you lift. Breathe through this. Now, if you need to modify, set that right leg out straight or move your knee closer to the back of that carriage. Exhale as you lift. Breathe in as you release. No holds, no pulses, 7 more seconds, and then we're going to hold, making that change. In 3, 2, now hold, slightly lift up those hips, lift up that leg, now up and down with that right leg. Breathe through this. I like looking up at my hands because that's the direction that I'm moving, but you can also look straight ahead at the same time. Breathe. We're halfway through here. We're going to go into leg kicks or heel kicks coming up next. In 9 seconds, we're going to keep that leg parallel to the floor and kick back with your heels. In 3, 2, now hold, reset those hips. Right leg is up. Now lead that heel back and bring that foot forward. Breathe in as you go forward. Exhale as your heel goes back. You should be feeling this in your outer butt on the right side, working out that left oblique at the same time. We're not here for much longer. You've got 9 more seconds, and then we're going to go into your legs. Making that change. In 3, 2, now change your springs. We're going to be adding on that heavy spring again. I had a great on with the white, so I've had that changed. We're going to stand up facing the naked shake wall. Feet in between those straps, shoulder width apart for tension. Now meet me low and start kicking the carriage out. Breathe in as you go in. Exhale as you push, slow and controlled. Breathe. You can have those airplane hands to keep your hips from moving, hands on your hips. And if you have those weights, have them in front of you, palm facing forward, bicep curl as you push. Breathe in as you release. We're just warming up this left leg. Breathe. We're going to be getting into that right leg coming up next. Make sure that your hips don't move. Use that strap if you need to. The right leg is staying still, and you're exhaling as you push outward towards the street, resisting the springs from coming in as slow as you can. Breathe. 9 seconds. We're going to hold that left leg out and push through the right, making that change. In 3, 2, now left leg is halfway out. Push through that right heel to come up, sitting down on the black handlebar behind you. Breathe in as you go down, exhale as you push. The left leg is holding the carriage with tension, and the right leg is working, pushing through your heels for a one-leg squat. Sit down on that black handlebar, keep those knees from passing your toes, and listen to your lower back. If it's hurting you, take a break, shake it off, and then get back into it when you can. We're getting into that standing outer thigh next. Push through those heels, use that strap against your foot to help you, and lift up those toes if you can. Now, in 10 seconds, we're going to push that carriage out evenly like you're doing a split, and we're going to come up to start out those outer thighs, making that change. In 3, 2, now push out evenly with those airplane hands and slowly come up, and then back into full range. Exhale as you push, breathe in as you release. Remember, slight bend in your knees, airplane hands will help you go out a little bit further or lower, and hands behind your back if you want to pull those shoulder blades back, correcting that punch back. Now, try to go slow. If you want to go out and hold for 1 second before you come in, do it. This is called a standing outer thigh, and we're going as slow as we can. We're going to get into those sumo squats coming up next. In 10 seconds, you're going to push those legs out, and then you're going to bend both of your knees inward to start your sumo squat pulses, making that change. In 3, 2, now push out evenly, slowly bring both those knees into your shoulders. Now pulse, 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Your job is to not move that carriage. Keep it from moving. You have a heavy weight on right now, so it's like that resistance band I was telling you about. You're working on your outer thighs and outer butts, pulsing down and up. If you can get down a little bit lower, get down lower and pulse. We got 9 more seconds, and then we're going to go back to full range for our outer thighs. Pushing out both your legs evenly in 3, 2, now push out evenly with both those legs and slowly come up for standing outer thighs. Exhale as you push, breathe in as you slowly release. Breathe. Almost done, everybody. We got that one side lunge coming up next on a one white spring. We got 7 seconds, making that change. In 3, 2, now change your springs. We're going to take off that heavy spring and go on one white. Right foot is on the front platform, closest to the direction that we're facing. Left foot behind you diagonally on that carriage. We're going to be coming up in 3, 2, now push through those heels as you slowly come up. Breathe in as you sit down on the black handlebar behind you. Keep those knees from passing your toes, and try every time you go down to go out a little bit lower, even if it's 1 centimeter at a time. Breathe. Now you should never be going out with the carriage. You're literally just going up and down, and as you go down, the leg will go out, and as you come up, the leg will come in. Now, you don't have to go down low like everybody else. I'd rather have you take a break than break your form and make it sloppy. We're getting ready for those holds, pulses, and carriage kicks. We're going to be low. Hold before you pulse, and then get right into bending that left knee towards your body. Meeting me low. In 3, 2, now stay low. Hold, now pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. If you can get out a little bit lower, do it. And if you are burning, just come up a little bit higher to continue your pulses. Almost done. We're already way more than halfway through. We're going to be bending that left knee inward towards your body for carriage kicks. 9 seconds. Making that change in 3, 2, now bend that left knee in, slow as you can, and slowly push the carriage away. Fingers on those black handlebars if you need support, airplane hands to keep you stable, and take a break if you need to. What you're doing is you're putting all the weight in your right leg, balancing your body as you softly push the carriage away and slowly bring the carriage in. We're going to be slowly coming up, making that change in 3, 2, now slowly come up, and then back to full range. We have a carriage lunge coming up next. We're going to step back onto your platform with both of your feet in 3, 2, now bring that carriage in, stand on your platform for safety. Your right foot is going to be on the carriage, left foot is behind you, and you're going to meet me low for a hold. Now push through those heels as you slowly come up, and I want you to go forward, down with your foot forward, knee second, keeping those knees behind your toes. Push through those heels continuously until you get up to the top. All your weight is in your front foot. That leg is just stabilizing you behind you. Now remember, if you feel wobbly, bring your arms out to your side to keep you centered, and if you have room, use those airplane hands. I want you to go slow and go down lower each time you go down to try to get that 90-degree angle so that you can activate not only your glutes and hamstrings, but activate your inner and outer thighs at the same time. Now we have ski jumps and we have carriage kicks coming up. Meet me low in 3, 2, now meet me low, arms at your side. Now ski jump, pulsing your arms up and down 1 inch at a time. Your hands are going to go in front of you in 3, 2, now hands in front of you, now carriage kick. You're pushing the carriage forward with your toes and pulling the carriage back with your heels. Breathe through this, everybody. We're almost done. We're going to be slowly coming up and back to full range in 10 seconds. Breathe. 7 more seconds. We're going to slowly come up, everybody. Making that change in 3, 2. Now push through those heels. Slowly come up and shake it off if you need to. And then back to full range. We got one more leg exercise, and that's going to be a squat. 6 seconds, stepping back on your platform in 3, 2, now step back on your platform. We're facing the naked shape wall. Right foot on the platform, left foot on that carriage. You're going to put it shoulder width apart, meet me low, and now push through those heels to come up for your light spring sumo squat. I'm on 1 white spring, and I'm not moving the carriage by going as slow as I can. I'm engaging my core by bringing my belly button to my spine, knitting my ribs together, flexing my abs, or tightening my stomach. Those are the 4 ways that I can explain how to engage your core. Now remember, push through those heels. If you can lift up those toes, lift them up. And if you need to modify, never feel like you can't. A second white spring or a third, if you really need it, will help the carriage not move. We're going to be finishing with holds, pulses, and carriage kicks. Breathe in as you go down. Exhale as you push through your heels. You got 8 seconds. We're going to meet me low in 3, 2, now meet me low and pulse. 1 inch up and 1 inch down. Use your fingers on those black handlebars if you need to. Airplane hands to keep you stable. Listen to your lower back. If it's bugging you, take a break, shake it off, and then get back to it. We got those carriage kicks coming up next. In 9 seconds, we're going to kick the carriage out. Airplane hands or fingers on those bars for support. In 3, 2, now stay low, send that carriage out, slowly bring it back in. Use those fingers on those bars if you need to, and don't go out further than you can. All your weight is in your right foot. This is the last leg exercise, and we got that twister. We're gonna have your right oblique coming up next. You got 7 more seconds, and then you're gonna go on one light spring, hands on the black handlebars, feet facing naked shake, in 3, 2, now shake it off, hands on the black handlebars, toes on the first white line, right foot in front of left. Send that carriage back, slight bending your elbows, and then start pulling the carriage in, bending your body in half with that right oblique. Now, earlier I was talking about how when your legs are crossed, more of your weight is into one arm. So we gotta lean more to the left side so that we can even out that weight distribution and keep your shoulders square. You wanna try to keep both of your feet as flat as you can and in line on that first white line. Slight bend in your elbows because I want you to work out your triceps, not your elbows. We're gonna ready for those holds and pulses. You're gonna go out halfway and you're gonna hold and pulse. Making that change. In 3, 2, now halfway on the hold, slight bend in your elbows, now pulse. 1 inch in and 1 inch out. We're going to be going down to that platform with both your hands, keeping your legs crossed for a twisted panther. Making that change. In 3, 2, now meet me down low onto that platform with your hands. I hold the sides to protect my wrists. Your legs are still crossed, and you're bending your knees inward towards your body. Now, right now, because my legs are twisted, more of my weight is into the right arm, so I'm leaning a little more to the left. Keep those elbows slightly bent. Protect your joints. Exhale as you bend your knee inward towards your body. Breathe in as you release your legs behind you. If you need to modify on those knees, bending them in and releasing them out. Breathe. No holds, no pulses. You got 6 more seconds, and we got a side plank in 3, 2, now down on your right forearm, palm down, knees stacked on the edge of your carriage, left arm into the sky. Now you're going to dip your hip down, thrust your hips up. Breathe in as you drop, exhale as you push. Now if you need to modify, send that left leg out or move closer to the first white line or the second. That'll give you more surface area underneath those hips. That left leg is going to go out straight like the floor, and we're going to go up and down with those legs. In 3, 2, now hold, bring up that left leg and bring it up and down. Don't let that right hip drop. Push through that right forearm if you need to, looking up at the sky or straight ahead through that wall. Keep this left arm down low, in line all the way to that right elbow. You got 10 more seconds, and then we got those heel kickbacks. 8 seconds. Making that change. In 3, 2, now hold, kick that heel back, bring that foot forward. Lead with your heel. Bring that toe forward. This is the last oblique exercise. We got bicep curls and deltoid rows coming up next. Almost done, everybody. Got 9 more seconds. You can do this. This is where you're going to have your outer butt right now. We're going to go on one heavy spring. Add weights if you need to. In 3, 2, now add on that heavy spring. I'm putting on the gray with my white. Sitting down on the middle of your carriage, picking up both those black handlebars. I want you to hold it by the handle. Once you have them in your hands, your heels are in the slots of your carriage. Lean back 45-degree angle, holding that bicep curl. And we're going to go forward, slow and controlled. Exhale as you bicep curl. Breathe in as you release slowly. And if you can do this with your palms open, do it. The more you use it with your palms open, the less you use your wrist or your grip. Now, if you need to make it lighter, you can switch to the long black straps, and that will actually make it lighter because you're increasing the length of the black cable. Now, if you want it heavy, what you can do is one bicep curl at a time to make it heavier. Another way to make it heavy is you can cross your cables like an X, and then that will shorten the strap and then make it a little bit heavier as well. And if you want to make it heavy, no matter where you are, you can bring your hands up a little higher and bicep curl with your hands higher up. Now, we're going to get into those holds and pulses coming up next. You're going to give me half a bicep curl, and we're going to hold. In 3, 2, now hold halfway in, catch your breath. We're going to pulse 2 inches out, in 3, 2, now 2 inches out, 2 inches in. Tiny little pulses. Breathe. We got that deltoid row coming up next. You're going to have your hands in front of you, shoulder width apart, palms facing down, making that change. In 3, 2, now bring your arms to your shoulder width apart, palms down, and we're going to roll back. Breathe in as you go forward, exhale as you row. Now, if you want to make this heavier, you do 1 row at a time, and that'll make it heavier. You can also cross your cables like an X, and if you want to make it lighter, you can use the long black straps like I'm using right now, and if you want to make it a little heavier, you can go to the handles, and that will shorten the strap to make it heavier. Breathe in as you release, exhale as you bicep curl. I want you to squeeze with your back muscles, squeezing your shoulder blades like there's a pencil down the back of your spine, and you're squeezing it with both of your shoulder blades to keep it from falling down. Now, there's nothing wrong with using your arms, but if you want to isolate your back muscles and your deltoids, I want you to go slow as you can. Exhale as you pull. We got those holds and pulses coming up next. You're going to be pulling the cable back halfway and hold, making that change. In 3, 2, now hold it halfway back, now hold. You're going to be pulsing 2 inches back and 2 inches forward. In 3, 2, now 2 inches back, 2 inches forward. Pulse. This is the last part, everybody. We got less than 18 more seconds, and then we're going to drop those cables and we're going to stretch it out. Seven more seconds and we're going to be finished with class. Push through this, don't stop. You can do this when we're done in 3, 2, and we are done.